And I know I'm going to upset a lot of people saying that, and I can't even say I'm sorry, because I think it's hard to understand this journey unless you truly try to understand it, if that makes sense. Like, I never tried to understand God, but now I have been learning to understand him. You know, I understand now that I didn't really know anything about, you know, I knew nothing. Hello and welcome to another video. I'm very, very new to all of this, and I'm still trying to figure this all out. I genuinely feel like a toddler learning to walk again at the age of 31, and it's kind of crazy. I recently found God in a very unexpected way after 10 years of being in the new age spiritual world, practicing shamanism, doing Reiki healings, doing shamanic healings, astrology, crystals, tarot cards, inner child healing, manifestation, you know, law of attraction, ceremonies, plant medicine, ayahuasca. Like, I have done a lot. I've done a lot, and I'm in this strange in-between phase right now of like letting go of my old life and welcoming in God. I noticed myself feeling a little bit lost yesterday because I've been slowly like getting rid of items in my room, items that I've owned for a very long time. I've spent so much money on new age items. If you think about it, I had 10 years of collected items that I've been slowly needing to get rid of. I've not gotten rid of everything just yet. I'm still in the process of getting rid of some stuff, but I've burnt some tarot cards and books and journals and like studies on spiritual life coaching and all of that stuff. And then I've gotten rid of crystals, jewelry, just tools like feathers, random things that I'd collected along the way, and posters, dream catchers. I've had to be savage with it. I've had to be really savage with it. And some really interesting thing happened the other day. I'm feeling really cool to share this right now. So I'd gotten rid of like tarot cards and books, and I'd burnt loads of them. And then the next day I got really, really sick and went into work, got sent home from work because I wasn't very well. And then the day after that I was not very well either. Spent the whole day off of work, and I felt really, really sick and just like sore throat, which I thought was quite interesting. I was sitting in my room that week and I realised that I was like, right, okay, I need to get rid of some more stuff. I was looking at all the crystals on the side because I was thinking about keeping all the crystals, and I was thinking about keeping 2 dream catchers that I had. One of them that was a gift from my nan. She bought, it's the last thing she ever bought me. And then the other one was, yeah, oh gosh, I can't say that actually because she'll be really mad. I've just realised one of them was a gift from my friend. See, this is the thing, I found it so hard to get rid of stuff because they were gifts, and also like crystals and things like that. And the thing is, I thought about this and I battled with this for days. Do I give this stuff away to people that I know would like it or know would use it, or do I give it to a charity shop, or do I literally throw it away? And I felt the need to burn what I could and throw the rest away because I didn't want to encourage that any further. I've encouraged people enough in that space. You know, I've basically lived it, I've embodied it so much that people have been inspired by that, and people have, you know, eventually found interest in it just by me experiencing it myself, but not like actually I've never really been preachy when it has come to stuff. Like, I've shared my spiritual journey online a lot on my old YouTube channel. I had a YouTube channel for 7 years and I shared so much stuff, and I've had to delete all of that. I had to delete like so much digital things. Like, I had 2 playlists on Spotify that I created ages ago. One of them was a Honey Quinn playlist and the other one was plant medicine playlist. Both of them had over 3,000 likes. I had to delete them because I was like, I can't, I need to have a full detox, a full clear, a full cleanse. And so anyway, I'm skipping ahead of time, but going back to like that day where I was like, I think I need to throw my crystals away, and I need to burn my journals, and I need to burn my study books. So I burnt my journals and my study books, and then I threw loads of jewelry and random things away. And then I had loads of crystals, guys. I spent so much money. I had so many crystals, like things that I just found really precious because they were so pretty to look at, and like some really beautiful ones I spent a lot of money on. And it's funny, I'm like cringing like this now, but when I really think about it, like my life doesn't feel any different without them. But I put them into a bag and I smashed them with a hammer because I needed to destroy them, and then I chucked them in the bin. And I went up to my room immediately put all this stuff in the bin. I went up to my room and I went to switch my salt lamp on, right? And that lamp I put on every single day. Obviously, you know, bulbs go out, but this specific moment, I flick the lamp on, doesn't turn on. And I was like, oh, I need to look for a bulb. I knew exactly where the bulbs were in my room, and I knew they were under my bed in a box. So I went rummaging for those. There's 2 boxes that I've got that they're the same shape, but I knew it was in either one of those boxes. I go into these boxes, realise that there's a bunch of jewellery in there with crystals and everything that I was like, oh, I've completely forgot about them. I need to throw them away. Put them there, and then lo and behold, there's the bulbs, but there's also rosary beads, right? I'm definitely not Catholic. I'm on the journey to Christianity. That's my journey. But it's still the cross of Jesus. And I just found that so, like, I completely forgot that I even owned this. The reason I owned these rosary beads with the cross on it is because my friend's mother gave them to me before I went travelling in 2018. And I completely forgot about them. And it's funny because when I went into my room and I switched my lamp on and it didn't turn on, I thought in my head, oh, have I angered the spirits? Because I've just thrown stuff away. But no, I believe that was God. God led me under my bed to find more stuff that I needed to destroy. And for me to know that was him, I was led to a box that had the cross of Jesus on it. Like, guys, I just feel like these sorts of things you can't even write. Like, I just laughed. I was like, oh my word. I thought, that is just wild to me. And even just driving to this destination that I'm in now, I was voice noting my friend who found God around 3 years ago. She was sharing a lot of things with me when I was in the New Age world, very, very deep in it, so much so that, like, you talked about Jesus or God to me, I would have, like, rolled my eyes, I would have scoffed, I would have, like, been like, whatever, very disregarding. But she still strengthened up and told me what she felt she was called to tell me. God was telling her to tell me things, and I'm so glad that he did, because now I'm here. But back then I was getting so triggered. Sorry, Emma, I know you're probably watching this, babe, but I did get triggered. Like, I was triggered because I didn't know any better. But I'm so grateful that God spoke through Emma, one of my best friends, to me and told me these things. Back then I was like, you don't understand what I'm like. I'm not dabbling in the darkness, like, I'm just only coming from a place of light, rah-de-rah, basically, along those lines. But I was just voice noting her on the way here, and I was just telling her some things. And then suddenly there's loads of people walking around here right now, loads of people. So suddenly, basically, loads of people are walking past and I'm getting distracted. I just need to focus for a second. So yeah, basically loads of people, what am I saying? I voice noted Emma on the way here, and then finished voice noting her and just quickly checked my messages whilst I was driving. I know, naughty, I shouldn't be doing that, but quickly just like tapped off. I seen a message from my auntie and I clicked on it, and it was a picture of me and my cousin when we were like 10, maybe even younger, where we had to go to Sunday church school, because my auntie was getting married, which meant that Jade had to go to church school for like quite a few Sundays, I think, and then my auntie and my uncle had to go to church as well for a period of time to get married in a church. And I went with her. She sent me this picture that my cousin had sent her. She didn't even send it to me. My cousin had sent her, saying that her nan had just sent her a picture of this, and it was a picture of us. It's a little newspaper clipping of me and Jade and then a bunch of people from Sunday service school. And it just, like, the timings of it, guys, you couldn't write it. You could not write it, like, literally. Even though I'm trying to still figure this all out, and I'm still like very new to this, I don't know enough to be able to, like, you know, quote the Bible, all that sort of stuff. Like, I'm still learning the Bible. I still don't know enough. But yeah, like, it's this weird, I'm in this weird in-between phase of like letting go of my old life. And it's interesting because I was watching The Chosen last night, which is the story of Jesus. It's an amazing series. I really highly recommend it. You can actually get it for free. I'll link it down below if I can, the website, but you can actually get it for free online. The whole seasons 1 to 4, and they're going to be bringing out season season 5 very, very soon, but it's a story of Jesus, and it's such an amazing series. You can't help, like, I've cried watching it because it's just so touching, and it's like modernized and stuff, but not modernized, if that makes sense. Like, it's been made recent, but it's, you know, set back in the time of obviously when Jesus was around. And I was watching it, and the episode that I watched last night, even though I was feeling a little bit lost and a bit confused yesterday, because I was like, oh my gosh, it feels so like this is such a big deal that's happened. Like, I've really just like let go of so much, and I almost feel a bit lost. I feel like a toddler learning how to walk again, like realizing that what I thought I knew is not what was actually the right way. It was false light. It wasn't true light, even though I was only ever coming from a place of, you know, love, and I only ever wanted to, you know, like help people grow, help people heal, and, you know, be the best version of themselves. But that new age world, for me, I'm realizing it's false light, and I know I'm going to upset a lot of people saying that, and I can't even say I'm sorry, because I think it's hard to understand this journey unless you truly try to understand it, if that makes sense. Like, I never tried to understand God, but now I have been learning to understand him. You know, I understand now that I didn't really know anything about, you know, I knew nothing about the Bible. I knew nothing about the story of Jesus. I knew nothing about God. But what I'm trying to say is, I'm going on tangents, but the episode that I was watching yesterday when I was feeling lost, was the episode where Jesus asks his disciples to go out in twos to preach his word and help cast out demons and heal the sick. And he's telling all his disciples, I need you to go out and do this, and I need you to go out with no food. Basically, he's telling them to give up everything and go and really walk in the path of trusting that God has got them. Like, God will provide for them, and deeply surrendering into so much trust that you go out there with nothing, none of these essentials that you like carry on your back. You just go out and you just trust. And it felt so fitting to my experience, because I was like, that's what I feel like I've done. I've like let go of everything. I've like literally thrown away so much stuff. I'm in this like in between phase of like letting go of things, and I still have to let go of some things. I've got some clothes that I want to get rid of because they're attached to that world that I used to know. And I just want rid of it all, basically. I want rid of it all. And the only thing that I am battling with is my tattoos. I've got so many tattoos, like this one, for example, that, you know, I've got like a massive dream catcher on my leg. I got that tattoo because my nan bought me a dream catcher. It was the last thing she ever bought me before she passed away. So I got that tattooed on my leg. I've got like this tattooed on my arm, which is the Kundalini. I had a Kundalini awakening last year. But God was slowly revealing him. I feel like God gave me discernment to start off with. Discernment to recognize what was true and false in the new age community, because I really, really saw that a lot last year. And then slowly this year, he's been like just dropping little signs here and there, and then I opened up to it slowly and surely. And I would say in the last 6 months, I've really opened up to it. Well, specifically, I'm going to say the last month, I've been like praying every day, repenting every day, but like it's been a slow creeping journey. But I do feel that I really felt that episode really touched me, because I was like, that feels like me. I feel like I can understand when people say like when you start walking with Christ, it's like you have to let go of a lot of things that you may not. I've just realised my lights are on. That you may not have let go of, you know, no, wait. You have to let go of a lot of things that you thought you knew, or you have to let go of a lot of things that, I just realised my windows are so steamy because I'm talking so much in here. You just have to let go of everything, basically. And I genuinely feel that I've let go of so many things. So many people in my life don't know that this is happening right now. I haven't shared it actually with many people. I feel comfortable sharing it here because I know it's going to touch the hearts of people that need to hear this, who are on this journey and just trying to figure it out like me. I'm still trying to figure this out. I'm so new to this. I don't know enough at all. All I know is what I'm experiencing in this current reality right now. Like, I know what I'm experiencing, and that's it. I can't talk any further on it. I'm just literally sharing this experience. There's still many things that I need to do to get closer to God, get closer to Christ. There's still many things that I need to do. But I wanted to make sure that I was sharing this in somewhat real time, so that the message is out there and it's raw and it's happening, because I do have ADHD and I do forget. So I had to journal this all out yesterday, because I was like, I don't want to forget these experiences that I'm going through. I really want to make sure that I'm like documenting this, so that I can, if I ever do feel like I stray from the path, I can always come back to this and be like, right, can you remember this is what happened? Remember these things, you know, remember how God showed himself to you. Remember how excited you were about this whole experience. So yeah, I forgot to even say, I even gave up I even gave up my business. So I was a Reiki healer and a shamanic healer, and I've had to repent for this, and I've had to ask God for forgiveness for this, and I've actually had to pray for the people that I have done healings on. Not that I was ever coming from the wrong place. It was always from the place of love, but I didn't understand this, and I wish I did understand this. But like, you know, I've just had to pray for the people that I have done healings on, and you know, just to help, you know, if there's any, you know, just pray for the people that I've done healings on, and just ask God for forgiveness, continuously ask him for forgiveness, because I've given that all up. And the weird thing is before I even truly understood what was happening, in a sense of like God was lighting up the path for me. He was giving me discernment, and he was helping me understand his presence. I was already feeling a bit like pulled away from Reiki and shamanic healing. I was feeling kind of like pulled away from it, because I started the business and I had everything set up, website, everything, had all the tools, had like a space to go and do the healings in. I did healings on quite a few people, and then something in me just stopped me. I just stopped, and it would have been God. It would have been God. I keep saying something in me, because guys, as I'm saying, I'm still trying to figure this out. I still notice myself using the same like context, but of the new age, because that's all I've known for 10 years. So I'm having to like relearn, unlearn and relearn everything, because I still notice like phrases or the ways that I say things, it's almost like a new age kind of way of saying it. So yeah, I've just had to let go of all of that, and I did. I let go of it all, and I just kept, you know, like, just, I don't know, there was something about it that wasn't fulfilling me in a way that I thought that it would have. It wasn't, even though, yeah, I can't explain it. It just didn't feel whole, I guess is the word I'm trying to think of. It didn't feel whole. So yeah, I just feel like I've given up my business, I've given up tools, I've renounced that, like completely renounced the new age journey, and I've started walking the path towards God, and it just feels like a really big deal. It just feels like a massive deal. Like I was sitting there last night and I was thinking, wow, this really is a big deal. Like, I never would have thought I would have been here. I never, if you'd have told me last year, early last year, even mid last year, like even whilst I was still like starting to realise that a lot of the new age community is very false, I would have laughed in your face. I would have literally laughed in your face. I would have rolled my eyes and I would have laughed in your face, and I would have been like, you don't know what you're talking about. And look where I am now. Like, what? Oh, it's just crazy. And yeah, a lot of people in my life don't know about this. Some people do, some people don't. But yeah, I can I've told a few people, but I've told few people that are very open to this. And luckily I have a couple of people in my life that are very open to God, and especially one person in particular, which is Emma. She's one of my best friends. I've known her since I was like 15, and she was like found God 3 years ago. She got baptized. She's a Christian now, and you know, she has been an amazing person to talk to, because she really like went from like atheist to walking the path of Jesus, her and her partner together, which has been she's got a beautiful story and a beautiful testimony. And to be fair, like, it would be amazing to actually get them on and actually like interview her and Chris about all of this, because their stories are just amazing. It's amazing. And yeah, so I do feel like I've given up a lot, and I am like in this kind of like phase of like figuring it out and trying to like learn as I go and just do what I need. Yeah, like just figuring it out basically, guys. Because yeah, I went from like learning about the law of attraction, manifestation, inner child healing, shadow work, shamanism, astrology, mushrooms, booth. Like, I literally have done like ayahuasca in ceremony many times. I even went to Peru and did it there. I have, you know, done mushroom ceremonies. I went and did a bufo ceremony, which is basically 5-MeO DMT. It takes you very much inside of yourself. I did spiritual life coaching. I trained in Reiki. I trained in shamanic healing. Basically witchcraft. The whole lot of it is basically witchcraft. Like the whole lot of everything that I've just said is, it's all witchcraft, and it's all very magical. And like, but like, now I'm looking at it, basically 10 years of my life was that, like 10 years of my life was that, but I'm looking at it now from a completely different perspective, because now I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, so much of it is very demonic. Like, I would go to an ayahuasca ceremony to find light. I would go and drink the most vile tasting drink you will ever put to your lips. It actually makes my mouth water with like sickness thinking about the taste of it. Every time I think about it, it makes my mouth like ugh. But to drink that and then spend parts of your evening throwing up horrifically. And I used to like the feeling of throwing up, because I was like, yes, I'm letting go of this stuff that's stuck inside of me. I'm letting it go. I'm like finding enlightenment, basically. I'm getting closer to enlightenment. But when I look at that whole experience, it is very demonic. It is. I've been there, guys. I've literally been in that world, so deep in that world, that like I can look at it from the perspective of like loving it, and the perspective of like, whoa, actually now what I'm learning is actually, you think about it, it is quite demonic. I've seen demons in one of my journey. I had 2 demons show himself to me. One of them looked like an orc from Lord of the Rings, and one of them looked like a pig. And I've seen that. I actually seen it in a journey. And that same night, I remember when I was purging, they call it purging when you're throwing up. That same night I was purging, I choked on my sick, so much so that it felt like my throat was turning inside out. And the next week I had the most painful throat, like sore throat, because I was throwing up so much and choking on it so much that literally it felt like my throat went like that. And I was in so much pain. I don't know. I just think that we, like, as humans, in some ways, like to put ourselves through the muck. Like, we like to put ourselves through pain, and like, I always used to say, like, I'm a Scorpio. Like, I like to go to the depth of things, and I don't, at this point, I look at myself and I'm somewhat embarrassed with like the things that I was doing. But I can't speak. Sorry, the lighting's not very good because it's starting to go dark, so I'm gonna have to close this video out very soon. But last year I had a Kundalini awakening, an unexpected one. I didn't force it, I didn't push it on me, I didn't understand what Kundalini meant. Some people practice very, very, very hard to get the Kundalini awakening, but what I can say about Kundalini awakening, it is dark. You have the experience and it happens, and it does something to you, like 1000% does something to you. I felt like really, really, like, you know, powerful, and like, you know, like, I can't explain it. I felt very much in my, like, I felt like I'd reached like a level of enlightenment that was like the ultimate enlightenment, but it suddenly crumbled very quickly. After that happened, I went into the depths of darkness. I was in my most fearful and scared and anxious place that I'd been in a very long time. And I used to say a lot, why is this happening? Because I've done so many things to heal myself. I've done so many practices, and I've sat in so many medicine ceremonies, and I've done so much work on myself, and I'm still feeling this much pain. I'm still feeling this much anxiety. I felt more anxious at the age of 30. I didn't feel very anxious in my mid-20s. Oh, I did, actually. That's a lie. I felt anxious like all my life, to be honest. I do have ADHD, so that doesn't help. But it's temporary, is what I'm trying to say. And I quoted this in my last video. But basically, there's a guy who's Stephanie Ike, I think her name is, on YouTube. I'll link it down below. She interviews a guy that practiced shamanism, was literally holding ayahuasca ceremonies and creating plant medicine, like literally making it, and he has now turned to the Lord. He's turned to God, he's turned to Christianity, and he says it's temporary happiness. And it really definitely touched something in me, because I was like, that actually makes sense, because the amount of times you like go through your process of like healing, and this whole symbolic meaning of like the snake shedding its skin, and then, you know, you have to shed it over and over and over again over your lifetime. Well, you know, isn't the snake a symbol of something as well in the Bible? You know, so it's painful. And then, well, you know, only I can share with you my experience as time goes on. Like, I'm gonna figure out whether God is gonna help heal my heart, and I believe he already is, to be honest. But I do feel like, you know, everything that I knew is actually kind of backwards, and everything that I've learned in the New Age world over the 10 years is everything has been taken from the Bible, but it's been manipulated. It's been manipulated into something different. It's been manipulated into a different way of doing things. It's been manipulated in a way to make you your own God. Like, you are your own person. I was even making videos and posting them on my old YouTube channel, by telling people, like, instead of placing your trust in the universe or spirit, why don't you place it in yourself? But you know how much pressure that is? So much pressure to like be doing all of this yourself. Like, when you surrender to God, this is what I've experienced anyway, is as I've surrendered to God, I've softened. Like, I've almost softened, because I've realized that, like, I don't have to do it all myself. Like, he can help me. I can ask for his help. And I felt strange at first when I first started praying, and I started praying exactly a month ago today. When I first started praying, I almost felt like I didn't feel like I had the right to ask God for help. I felt weird asking him for help, because I felt like I'd betrayed him. So yeah, you can ask God to help heal you, and you can ask God for help to, you know, like, allow the Holy Spirit to cleanse you, and you know, cast out any demons that might be residing within you. You can ask him for help, and whereas before it was all, you had to do it yourself. You had to heal and grow yourself. You had to like go into the darkness yourself. You had to, like, you know, dig up old stuff and try and work through it yourself. So it is a bit backwards. Like, when you think about it, when you learn about the Bible and then you learn about the New Age, it is backwards. Like, it's so interesting coming from the perspective of like being in that New Age world and understanding a lot about it, to like now understanding the things, or trying to understand the things in the Bible, because I don't know everything, as I've said. And yeah, so yeah, I feel like a young toddler trying to walk again, trying to learn how to walk, trying to learn how to, sorry, there's people getting in the car in front of me, so that's why there's some strange lights. So I feel like a toddler learning how to walk again, basically, figuring it out as I go. I feel like a baby. I feel like God has like rebirthed me. But I know it's not fully happened yet, because I've still got a lot of a way to go. I have a long way to go still. I'm still very, very new, and very, very I have a lot to learn. I have a lot to understand. But yeah, so I have been praying, I've been repenting, I've been asking God for help with all of this. Wow. Yeah, let's see. Asking God for help, asking for his guidance. And I'm gonna have to go soon because it's so dark right now. Yeah, all I do know is that there's no turning back. There's no turning back now, guys. I'm on this path and there's no turning back. And the good thing about, I like the fact that I've got this to come back to if I ever feel like I stray from the path, because I want to be, I don't want to stray from the path anymore. So at the age of 31, I feel like a toddler again. Learning to walk for the first time again. I really don't know where this is going to take me. Excuse me, I don't know what this means for me. I honestly, I'm literally just giving it all to God. I'm just leaving it up to God. And I have to, every day, I have to just continue to surrender to him and continue to trust him. That's the only choice I have right now. That's the only choice. I need to stop trying to figure it all out myself and putting all that pressure on myself. I just need to surrender to God and let him figure it out for me, because that's the only way. That's the only way. I had a YouTube channel for 7 years. I've deleted a lot of videos off of there. If you actually want to check that channel out, like, watch with your own discernment. But I do talk about my Kundalini awakening experience. The reason I'm keeping that channel is because of the dreadlocks. So people really find, I used to have dreadlocks, and people find those dreadlock videos very, very helpful. So I want to keep them there. But I've had to delete a lot of stuff off my channel. And I'm almost like, do I delete the Kundalini stuff? But the thing is, I shared the Kundalini things. I'll pray on it, but I shared the stuff around Kundalini because it was such a hard time for me, and I just wanted to make sure there was something that people could watch to, you know, find a bit of help through that, like, to get through that experience. I think the best thing for me to do is to create a video for that old channel and literally just be like, it's God, guys. Like I can't give any other advice than just like pray to God, to be honest. But I'm figuring that all out. I have just started a brand new channel, which is all to do with ADHD, my ADHD journey, because I got diagnosed with ADHD quite late as well this year, funny enough. Everything's happened this year. It's literally, I got diagnosed with endometriosis, got diagnosed with ADHD, and now God has shown himself to me in my life, and I'm just like, what is happening? There's so much happening, but it's almost just like I just have to go with the flow, man. Like just follow the God's guidance. That's all I'm trying to learn, how to follow God's guidance and learn how to listen to him and learn how to practice his word and let go of all the old stuff. So if this interests you, if this journey, of this story of mine has interested you, then please do follow along. I'm just going to share my experiences, really. I don't have any specific real intentions with this channel other than to just share my journey, and hope that it helps someone, because this is all God working. This is what I hear, is that God works through you, and I felt very called to share this message, and obviously that calling was from him, and obviously that calling was from the Lord. So I'm sharing this experience with his guidance. So hopefully this helps. I'm still trying to figure this out, as I said. So if this interests you, then do follow along for more. I will be sharing more about my journey here. And yeah, I hope it supports you in yours. And I'm going to say good night. It's got dark, so I'm going to go now and go around my partners. I love you lots. No. But yes, anyway, take care, my loves, and I will see you in the next video. God bless.